Welcome to Look Around the Confederation. I'm your host for the evening, Moose. Before we get started, please remember, the views and opinions expressed on this broadcast are not necessarily the views and opinions of the SCV, its GEC, nor any divisions, brigade, camps, or any other subsidiaries. I got a text right when we went live, so that was just...
Oh, that's phenomenal, of course.
Oh, yes, phenomenal.
That's the most opportune times.
Yes. It was GCB being like, you're doing Look Around tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And me being like, well, yes, but so...
That's a great producer right there, he's got to make sure the schedules are on point.
Oh, yeah. The bad thing is I'm supposed to be the producer, and every time I produce something, half the time it just goes off the rails instantly. But that's SCV chat in general. But
teamwork.
Let me introduce our host, our guest for the evening. He is the host of ACG Chat. He is the camp commander of the Alamo City Guards Camp. He is the Christian Lee.
How are you doing Christian tonight? Lee? I'm doing great, my friend. It's so good to be back. I missed you guys. I hear that we've got another guest going to pop on. Well, he's a superstar, just like you guys. So I'm really excited to be here with you once again.
Well, Christian, we're always happy to have you. Speaking of special guest, wink, wink, Mr. Richard Garcia, I'll be talking to you shortly. We're getting our scheduling straightened out here, and I'll talk to you very soon. Speaking of which, Jude, since I'm still loading the news because there's a story behind why we're running so late tonight and yesterday. I'll get into that in a minute. But Jude, I want you to come on. That email you sent for that's Connor saying half the stuff you produce goes off the rails. All the stuff we produce here at SCV Chat goes off the rails. You're welcome, because it's supposed to be my job to keep it in check. But Jude, I want to talk to you about coming on at some point. Just going to throw you under the bus right here now. So call me after the show. But I know you sent
Jude actually came on an ACG Chat. He even piped into one of our camp lectures. So, yeah, he wasn't even in San Antonio at all, and he came on. Like, this guy's really tech-friendly. So, if you haven't met Jude, y'all are going to love him.
Oh, he's amazing. I don't think he's ever been on Look Around yet. Christian is one of our probably most frequent guests we have on here. He always has something good to talk about, and the project we're talking about tonight, especially with a special month coming up that we're going to talk about in a minute, he has something big to talk about. I've always loved the project his camp is doing. It's historical making. I am only jealous the fact that I wish Mississippi Division would do it first. And Texas is beaten to the punch on this one, rightfully so, though. So I'm looking forward to it. And again, if you guys do not know, ACG Chat is one of our spinoffs here at SCV Chat. And it's one of those that, for once, it's a spinoff that me and Connor or CANDYMAN aren't there for. We trust Christian a lot. He's a good guy. We love him to death. He's officially part of the SCV Chat family now. And we just say, do your best. And, they knocked it out of the park. So if you haven't seen ACG Chat, I would highly recommend you do. They appear live on the Alamo City Guards Camp page and here on SCV Chat. And sooner or later, I will help them get set up on our YouTube. And, of course, awesome. A couple other things we're working behind the scenes that I don't know if we're ready to talk about yet live. Me, Christian.
Yeah, y'all are going to love it.
Oh, yeah. Me, you, and GCB, as soon as he gets back from vacation. Oh, top secret stuff. Again, what we did, and I'm just killing time because I'm waiting for my news to load because it's not. Sure. A couple of months ago, back in season 2, we talked about the future of SCV Chat. Why we can't talk, about a lot of stuff because there's a lot of stuff we don't know if we'll be able to do. Big nabbit. GCB's messing with me. I guess he has some downtime on his vacation. I lost where I was, Christian.
Well, exactly what you were saying. As long as we act accordingly in furtherance of the cause, then there's no problem. Like the programs that we're doing, It's educating the public. We're connecting with everybody. I don't know about y'all, but I've seen increase in membership from being more active online, doing ACG chat, doing our movie nights and things like that. So yeah, technology is a really good way to go. These guys that are out there, they're the ones that are going to find the people online because they're boots on the ground on the internet. So yeah, don't discredit these guys. Definitely support them. Because we've seen, like I say, growth in our camp, and we've seen monetarily, we've been making lots more money from being active like this. So literally, you look at all the projects that everyone are doing across the Confederation. You know, they're setting the foundation for the future, and we've got a plan for 2061 because all the monuments that we're putting up in 2061, my friend, are we're putting them up to educate. That's exactly what we're here to do, and I'm really excited to be part of that.
Yeah, and we can't definitely talk about our plans yet for 2061. I will talk about the other night. I realized in 2061 I will be celebrating 50 years as an SCV member. So I thought that was pretty cool to add on to what is already going to be a cool couple years for SCV members and historians alike. But again, you know, we have about a 10-year plan here on SCV Chat. And I think me and Christian have added to it. Me and Connor have added to it. Me and Candyman have added to it. It's not like a written down plan. It's just ideas and stuff we want to do. And again, you know, we can't talk about what we're wanting to do now, but I guess our next step for the page right now would definitely be getting ACG Chat on YouTube, just in case, because I know a lot of our fans out there cannot make it on Facebook, or they don't want to support Facebook. And so YouTube's another place we can go. A lot of people ask about Rumble. Rumble is still not treating us the best way yet. ACG Chat does it differently, but for Look Around and SCV Chat, we use StreamYard. It's what we're using right now. Christian actually has somehow done his equipment in from ACG Chat. He's a genius. I got to bring him up and talk to him about that.
We will show you how to do this. Like, any questions you've got, like, we're here to answer them, guys. Don't let anything hold you back. And I'm not just talking to Moose here. I'm talking to everybody that's watching. Like, if you think you have you feel the cause and you want to do this, we can set you up with OBS software, and we can get you, if you have the right gear. I mean, look at what David Pope's doing. He has a laptop, and he's able to do everything. I think he uses StreamYard. I mean, you don't need much, and you can reach out and get more people to align with the cause.
Yeah, I'm sorry if my attention, everybody's going back and forth. I'm also editing the news because again, I'll get into that in a minute, but I had a chaotic 2 days. I'm soaked right now. If you can't tell, it's storming up in Oxford, Mississippi. I'm legit dripping on my floor. I'm going to have to clean up and set my chair outside that I use for the show to dry.
You came from a tailgate party, right?
Yeah, no. Fridays is when you set up to tailgate at Ole Miss. And I don't tailgate anymore. Most people know this, but I have not, other than the fact that I have to pay them to go to school here. I try my best not to financially support Ole Miss because they moved their monument. Now, they moved it to one of the best places they can move it. And, I'm with Commander Gremlin on the fact of if they don't want it, well, they don't deserve it. We're going to put it in a place where we'll honor them. But, I still, it's hurt me a bit as a longtime Rebel fan. And so I just tailgate. I watch Liberty. Most of you don't know I am a Liberty fan. I started going for them a couple years ago. And so I'll set up like a computer or a TV and watch it in the Grove because that's how redneck I am and how much I like to tailgate. But a couple of my friends who graduated ahead of me are coming up this weekend. So they asked me to tailgate with them. And so instead of staying in the air conditioning, I was like, you know what? I'll set up. But the good Lord decided that since I avoided the rain mostly this week, he was going to get me at least once. And he gave us something that Mississippi and Oxford, Mississippi is going to be flooded because it stormed while we were setting that tent up. It's about a mile walk. You can't park anywhere near the Grove, so it's about a mile walk with a tent on your back in the rain. And then I have to hide my tent because of regulations. And then I have to run out there, set up a tent for about 20 minutes, find a good spot, make sure I'm not breaking any of the Ole Miss rules for the tailgating. And so I'm soaked. And then for those who don't know, I had a camp meeting yesterday. I'm the adjutant of my camp, so I can't miss a meeting. I'm an officer, and there's a higher standard for our officers. So I showed up there. That's why we had to move the show tonight. Then I realized that at 7 o'clock I'd be setting up a tent, so I moved it to 7:30. And then the storm was so bad, it took me a bit longer to get to my house back from the Grove. So I text Christian like, we got 2 minutes. It's about to be interesting. And so I'm still doing the news over here. I can't even read the comments because I'm editing the news. So yeah, I'm sorry I'm not seeing your comments. I will talk about them in a minute. I'm just trying to get this one bit of news a bit shorter so it'll make it.
Hey, it looks like we do have David Pope in the chat. That's really cool. Hey, David, what's going on? George Connor Bond, how are you, sir? Good to see you.
Oh, GCB's making fun of me in the chat. I know it.
Wes Reynolds, hello from South Carolina. Hey, I got to tell you, Wes and Secession Camp number 4, guys, they are doing great things. I believe they won the best website and best newsletter for 2022, and that's fantastically amazing. And we've got him watching our show. So, guys, if that's another person that we had questions, and he was able to come through for me, and he literally helped make my camp better just because of the goodness of his heart. So, again, Wes, you're awesome. It's GCB.
Go ahead, do it. What are you going to do?
It's New Miss. Ole Miss is dead. They're no longer the Rebels. It's New Miss. Get it right.
New Miss.
Hey, Christian.
Hey, what's going on?
We had an unexpected cameo tonight. Aren't you on vacation?
That's wonderful.
No, I was on vacation last week. I'm at work.
Oh, I need to talk to you about scheduling Richard Garcia then that you're off vacation.
Yeah, I told you I was off vacation.
I don't remember this, so I'm sorry, Richard.
Kenny Ramsey says near miss.
Near miss. If for those who don't know, I started my career for fighting for tradition and heritage at Ole Miss.
New Miss.
I've always been involved in my camp. I've been a member for 11 years this October. Very proud of that. And I was cadet number 7 before that. I'm very proud of that, and the whole organization. So I'll take that. I'll pat myself on the back on that one. But I didn't really start fighting out of my camp until I got to Ole Miss, and I saw that
New Miss.
They'd stolen all my traditions, and so I've spent the past 4 years and the next couple years, depending on how my educational degree goes, if it ever goes. I've been fighting for traditions ever since then, and so I fight for Ole Miss traditions.
New Miss.
To me, I'm fighting for Ole Miss. Now, New Miss might be what surrounds me, but I fight for Ole Miss.
Well,
start calling it Neo Miss.
Yeah. Too many syllables.
That's with them.
That's too many syllables.
Oh, that's mean.
Victor Smith says, "Go Gators."
Yeah, strike one, Victor.
All right, almost done getting the news together, and then Christian has a great topic for tonight.
I've got topics, if you want to touch on anything, like we can discuss it. I'm totally up for anything.
Bad.
Oh, well, I guess while we're waiting on the news, there's something you talked about that, I didn't know about. Now, I realized I put it in my calendar recently, and so I wanted to talk to you about what is the Rebel Yell Day Worldwide event?
Ooh. Okay, so that was just sort of an idea that came together. And we want to bring awareness to everything that we've been doing. What you can do. It basically started off as let's all go live, like we're doing here, and we'll all do it at once, and flood the internet with these rebel yells. We've reached to Australia, Europe. There's so many places around the world that people are actually going to do this. So we've set it up so I think people are even going to get up in the middle of the night to participate. And basically, we've got about close to 500 people in the going to the event. We've promoted the Alamo City Guards, Tejano statue, the Lee Rides Again monument, AR Camp 615. They have a Confederate plaza that they've planned. So you got those links in there. And you can support those. So basically, it's to raise awareness. And the Rebel Yell is literally part of our cultural diversity. War cries, there's different tribes that have specific war cries. Ours is just specifically the Rebel Yell. So yeah, having a day to honor that is really amazing. And it just so happens, we picked the second Sunday in September, and that turned out to be Grandparents' Day. So it's a good way to honor our grandparents. It's Patriot Day. And then you have September 11th. So we had Southerners that died in those terror attacks. And what better way to, just celebrate the day and honor these people than with our Rebel Yell? I think it'll be a really, really awesome thing. And I would love to participate with everybody, if we all link up and do a StreamYard thing, that would be legit.
Ooh, that's a good idea. We will definitely... Speaking of which, I got an idea for that. So after the show, we'll definitely talk about that so we can bring plans up to do something cool on that day.
Go to the event page. There's a discussion board, and start promoting your projects, because that there's a lot of people there that care about the Rebel Yell and our history. So yeah, get in there, post your projects, and say hey. I think it'll help out a really great deal.
Yeah, and I mean, again, Christian said it, folks. That's part of our heritage, and hence why it garnered my interest. Because I was sitting there and I was like, "What is this?" And so it caught my eye, I guess is the best way to say it. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Us here at SCV Chat will definitely try to do something. Don't know what, but we'll figure that out. And again, that's something, you might be busy that day, but just take a quick 5-second video of you doing a Rebel Yell or Rebel Yell with Dixie in the background. If you're like me and you have no sense of tune whenever you open your mouth, you might want to put some Dixie in the background to help you out. But, just 5 seconds to contribute to something like this would be awesome. And of course, participation, supporting online events is easier than supporting, and I don't want to throw this under the bus for people to misunderstand me, but, supporting online events like this, something that takes maybe a minute out of your day, is even easier than going out and supporting an event, which, again, please go do that. But I'm just saying, this is something you don't have an excuse not to support.
Right, absolutely. Like I say, it's in honor of our grandparents and, our ancestors. And just the fact that it falls on the second Sunday of the September, what would be nice is if we could treat it like, the Ice Bucket Challenge. So we would be able to, hey, I'm going to Rebel Yell to raise awareness for this cause and say it's for the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs. That would be exceptional. So this is the inaugural one, and it's more for awareness. It wasn't really for a cause per se, but it's. I mean, if we do round 2, that's going to be on September 10th in 2023. So if we can plan accordingly and get this kind of reaction and this kind of traffic and momentum, I think that everyone should be able to benefit from things that each of our individual camps are doing and our accomplishments. Hey, if it can help us grow and do better as an organization, I'm all for it.
Yes. And again, this is something that, everybody can support. And like the Ice Bucket Challenge, how pissed off will our enemies be when they see a rebel yell trend on social media. And, for those
Correct.
who don't know what a trend is, it's when something spans across the internet for multiple thousands, millions of people to do. It's something that legit can influence, as weird as this sounds, it can influence kids, it can influence a generation, because I've seen it. I've seen stupid stuff that trended social media, broke the internet, whatever you want to call it, and I still see kids my age talking about it, stuff that happens with my brother, or things that become a trend for a month or two. That's a month or two that we're getting our message out there.
Right.
People would normally not see it.
Yeah, and it was amazing, just to be able to have that opportunity. And actually, we have some people that don't agree with it being on 9/11, and it's totally unintentional that that happened. But yeah, it's we're definitely, I think we're being respectful personally. Keeping it all depends. It's like a Confederate monument. Some people are offended by this because of this reason. Other people are not. It's context. But
I was about
hey,
to say, it's. I'm always someone that I always do something for the remembrance of 9/11. I just always do something. I was very young when that happened. I don't remember it, sadly. That's one of the things that happens as the generations continue on this tragic day. There are kids that were born then that don't remember it because I was one. And so, I always
no
do
one
something.
knew what to do, honestly.
And I don't know. Yeah. I would say it's disrespectful. I don't know. I think I would go with you. I don't think it's disrespectful, but if you feel that way, I can understand that, and then do it the next day. I mean, this could be something again. If it trends like we're wanting it to, do it the next day. But definitely support it on the day we're actually doing it if you feel comfortable doing it.
For sure, yeah. And you can be respectful. It's like the whole cultural appropriation thing. It's like they don't want you to dress like a Native American, even little kids. So like, hey, the little kid isn't trying to offend you. They like your culture and they just want to play dress up. And yeah, it unintentional. But like, hey, you say this isn't meant to offend anybody. So let's make this happen. And not be upset. I mean, that's no fun for anybody. But you do think about it with all of the traffic and everything that's going on the internet and everything. It's kind of helps with the algorithm, and that event on that day is gonna be more visible. So that you'll notice there's a lot of events that are based on 9/11, and honestly, the algorithm last year on the 20th anniversary, I tried to do an event and they absolutely squashed it. It was the 20th anniversary and we're trying to do something big for the anniversary. And yeah, it was really, really scary what was happening online with the censorship.
Oh yeah, very.
Yeah.
Censorship.
So don't name an event 9/11 anything.
All right, everybody. I'm getting to the very, very last bit of news, so I'm trying, to jump in and out of the conversation so Christian's not left hanging and do this. So if I look like I haven't been all there, I'm trying my best, but I'm reading all the news and trying to edit it and upload it. So I'm deeply sorry. Again, if you've been a member of the show, this normally doesn't happen. Again, I guess I can. I think I already explained it actually. So I was getting soaked during my prep time, usually for the show, and I'd been on the road doing stuff.
This has got the chat. They're saying some really it's like reasonable, but honestly, it with saying. Kenny thinks it could hurt us in the news. It's like search for sons of Confederate veterans. on Google and go to the news. Like there's so much that's already hurting us. It's almost irrelevant.
And, I'm not saying I disagree with you, Kenny. I'm not saying I disagree with you, Miss Sandra, about, maybe like, I, to be honest, I would have to think on it and pray on it. But, again, I feel like this is something that could be very helpful. But again, this is something, a respectful conversation about this is something good. And so, yeah, keep talking about it in the chat. Let's see here. I don't think you should go.
It's kind of like, some people are, a lot of Americans are like, the Queen died. And, while others are like, the Queen died and I'm just crushed over it. I mean, as a human, it's like, I'm sorry your grandma died. As American, it's kind of something different, the overlord of another country, Oh,
then again, I agree, Kenny. Again, that's a conversation for another day, or not another day, but we're about to move on past it. I say
Wikipedia's definition of the SCV. Quite surprised about that. Linda Edge Hudson.
It's awful. It's awful. I'm one of those guys that, like, if you get under my skin, I'm a very nice person. But then I'll do sudden things just to try to make you angry. And so when the Wikipedia guy kept changing it, I kept doing that. I kept changing it back. And then at one point I called us the best organization that ever lived. And just to make these people angry. Everybody needs to hit the like button. Please share. And, David Poe, I agree with you. I'm not a monarchist. Everybody knows that. I'm a small government man. But I think she was a good Christian woman that led an example. Monarch in England has no power anymore. She's a figurehead. Nothing more power than a mascot at a university. So
David Pope says the tragedy about Queen Elizabeth is we're losing a direct connection with history. And that is true.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, that's a really big problem, that I've noticed growing with the organization is that when people die, they take with them all that history, their emails, using personal emails. We lose access to those emails that could have data about specific camps, specific personal histories. It's really tragic when a person dies, especially if they're just a loner and they die alone and they have no family, and no one to claim all their historic artifacts. There's some real big issues that it would be great to solve those, just so we're not losing. Like my camp, we came into existence in 1975. And, I'm the newly inherited commander of my camp, and there's just so much I don't know that I'm going back and trying to make contact with people that could have already passed away. It's a big deal.
I forgot I muted myself.
That's
I'm on
all right.
The last thing. Let's see here. But yeah, no. Tonight's topics have been lovely all over the place. That is old school. Look.
I know. We're just waiting on some news articles. Just gabbing.
I'm getting the last one up. If I can just get it up and loaded. I don't. Okay. All right. Let me go and get it off our page. The information, the person forgot to send me the news with the picture, but they sent it to me earlier in the week. Okay. All right. But
so great idea, wrong day. And like I say, if you want to participate in 2023, it will be on September 10th. So I think that would be really cool if we could get everybody together. It's a shame we can't do it, this time. Because time is of the essence. And we make it a charity thing, say for the SCV Museum. That would be even more awesome. But yeah, let's get together and talk on that.
Yeah, Jude, I agree with you. What Wikipedia says about the SCV and the UDC irritates me, but not stepping over Christian thing. I agree with Kenny. I think after thinking about it, it's just a tricky thing. That date, it does need to be a day of remembrance, and so it's tricky for me. I'm having conflicted interest on it. I agree. I think we need to pray about it. And again, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, I don't think I'm saying like don't support it. I'm saying support on a different day. If you feel like you don't want to do it on September 11th, maybe do it on the 12th. Again, this is something we want to try as an online event for what
tomorrow.
Christian was describing it. Or you can do it tomorrow. That's something I thought about because when I tailgate, put up a giant Mississippi flag, the real one, and I talk about history with people that come by. So for someone like me tomorrow tailgating, or if you're home watching football, that might be a good thing to do. Post it and be like celebrating this early. And that way you're not, doing it on 9/11 if you feel like that's disrespectful.
Right.
But you're participating in an event that could very well be a new good thing to start. And so, that's probably what I'm going to do, honestly. I always try my best to be respectful. And again, I see both sides of the argument, though. I see Christian's side. I see where some of you chat heads are coming from. All right. Let's see here.
See.
I'm not going to respond to that. We got the news ready anyway. I think I'll talk about it with you after the stream. That was a lovely thing. But I guess it is time to get into news, everybody. I'm definitely sorry it took so long. I'm happy though to see that all of you chat heads have had a good time talking about these topics, talking about random topics, or talking about these events. And again, it's something I want to see in this organization more, of having a disagreement about something. I keep jumping back to this because, I want to bring this out. So many people, if you have a disagreement about them, with them in this organization, they get like really butthurt and they get so mad and they cause conflict if you have a disagreement with someone in this organization. And disagreeing with someone's not bad, everybody. At the end of the day, though, we need to remember this organization's a Southern Brotherhood. And I'm stealing it from Florida. I'll give them Florida. The division commander sent me a shirt that says Southern Brotherhood the other day. It's from the reunion where SCV Chat was founded. And so I've been using that term ever since I saw it because I just think it's wonderful. We are a Southern Brotherhood here in the Sons of Confederate Veterans. So even if you disagree with something, that's okay. But we can all be respectful about it. If someone disagrees with me, and it has happened a lot on this show, I don't take it personally. If I disagree with you, I hope you don't take it personally. Again, the reason I'm talking about it is I've seen so much of that conflict come from just disagreements.
Wow.
And it's such a sad thing. And, we have so many enemies on the outside of this organization. We don't need to bring them in.
Right. Everything needs to be done with the best of intentions.
Yeah. So, again, if you have a disagreement about something, that's fine. Tell it.
Let's hash it out. Yes. I like that.
But at the end of the day, we're Southern brothers. This is a Southern Brotherhood. So please remember that. We're about to go on to the news. Let's see here if there's anything else. I like that comment, Jude.
So I heard about a mayor in Enfield, North Carolina. Did you hear about that mayor?
Oh, yeah. I think we talked about that on the last episode of Look Around. He bulldozed a monument.
Any updates?
I haven't heard any updates. Actually, Cousin Vinny might have an update. So, Cousin Vinny, if you have an update, keep it nice so I can post it on the screen, please. But if you, I think Cousin Vinny told me he had an update, and I have just been swamped this week doing work and stuff.
It says the mayor requests state emergency, citing threats 3 days ago.
Threats from us?
That it doesn't say us, but that's the title. It says the removal. This is on 11. I don't know what this.
Oh wait, I put the wrong one up. You guys might not like me, but that's okay.
The town remains on edge.
Oh no, Miss Sandra, we weren't trying to say we don't like you. We were saying that a lot of people in this organization will not like you just because they disagree with you, and we need to be better than that. The SCV does need to come first as an organization because that organization's goal is to honor and defend the Confederate soldiers' good name. So, yeah, Miss Sandra, I hope that
Miss Sandra is the sweetest lady. Like I met her at Division.
So I wanted to make that clear because, Miss Sandra, you've always been a great supporter of the chat. I hope you know we love you. I might have not got my brain scattered tonight. But Kenny Ramsey has something to say on that. He said that the police chief and several officers have resigned because of the conflict with the mayor. The mayor is getting sassy because he got censored on. The mayor also got censored on Facebook, and people have been standing up, voicing their displeasure about how he handled the monument situation. Okay, so that's good. Remember, be respectful when you message these people, and just tell them. Because I know, trust me, when I first saw those pictures, nothing irritates me more or gets me angry faster than someone disrespecting a monument. Because for the men that didn't come home, for the men that were never found, that's their monument. I mean, that's their tombstone. That's where their family came to remember them. I have family members that when I go to a monument in the county, I'm remembering them. And that also is to remember all the Confederates in that county or area or whatever the monument is dedicated to, out of respect for what those men fought for. They gave up their lives. They sacrificed themselves to be soldiers, veterans of war. And that takes a toll. And so you always need to honor them, our people of service. And so when someone does something to a monument like that, any monument, first off, makes me mad. But, I seeing it happen, and it be a monument, not just a Confederate monument. It was a World War II, Vietnam, Korean War, Gulf War. It was a monument to all veterans. And to see it bulldozed just because I believe the county was like, we're going to move it. We don't want it at its area. Again, I don't like seeing anything moved. But if you're going to take it to a place where it will be more respected and not disrespected on a daily basis, I'm not going to say I approve of it, but I will say that it's in a better place of people who care and love it and will treat that monument with respect. I can live with that. So them moving it, okay. They're going to move it to a place where maybe SCV members or non-SCV members can go and remember their Confederate veterans or just go to remember. But he bulldozed it, tearing away that ability forever. And again, it's not just a Confederate monument. What about people who served with someone in the Vietnam War? That's a monument to them.
You're right.
And this man tore it down using his own money, abusing his power, in my opinion. And now he's paying the price. So, yes, if you're going to contact him, be respectful. I know it makes my blood boil. Be respectful, because if you're going to represent this organization, you need to be respectful and be like, sir, we disagree with you. I would like to let you know what you did is illegal, and it is crushing to see someone of your status who ran for office do something this disrespectful and evil to veterans and something.
You're supposed to represent everybody.
Yes.
That's why you were elected, and it's a real dangerous thing to subjugate just our ancestors and where we came from. It literally teaches everyone else, like, hey, if they're descended of these soldiers, then you have all right to disrespect them. You have all right to do them harm. And we can't have that. Not in this country. That we are beyond that, I thought. We got to stand up and say, it's like, enough is enough. Like this is us. This is us. This is where we came from. This is where we came from, and you've got to tolerate that.
And remember, if you're not even just representing the SCV, you're representing the South. And there's so many negative things about the South out there, not just SCV members, but Confederate, Southerners, all in one. And you got to remember, we have to fight this war right, because first off, our enemies can fight with no rules, but if we start fighting with no rules, are we even better than them? Are we stooping to their level, get down the dirt? Yeah. But also the fact that our ancestors wouldn't want us to fight dirty.
That's right.
Jeff Davis didn't turn into a tyrant all of a sudden when Abe Lincoln started acting like one. So I think, and two, I think our ancestors want us to fight right and defend their name. Because if you're going to defend the Confederate soldiers' good name, you must realize, as a descendant and as a son or daughter of the South, you automatically represent them. Kenny says the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation is investigating the destruction of the monument. Okay, good. His cousin Vinny says he's no longer opening his messages. That could either be good or bad. It depends on what type of messages he was getting from some people. But yeah, no update on that. I want to thank Kenny Ramsey and cousin Vinny for providing us with this update. It wasn't, shocking news. We knew we were going to all message him. I talked about that last time we were on. But it's good to see that he's still getting investigated. That hasn't been dropped. And Kenny's right. The media is calling it a Confederate monument. But it was a monument for a lot of veterans, not just Confederate. It started off as a World War I Confederate and Union monument. And then they made it to where they could add on to it, as small towns usually do. And it's sickening to see that happen. But we're going to try to get in some lighter news now. Talk about some events. I have a perfect event to talk about next. A monument rededication. History awaits you in Pleasant Hill, Louisiana, October 29th, 2022. This monument, of course, was taken down a bit ago. It's finally going back up, and this event is going to be amazing. I will be there. I cannot wait. I will take some pictures, post it on the chat page, talk about it when it happens on the show. So, again, if you can support these events, please attend. Jude is right. Our ancestors retained their honor during the war when the North didn't. They wouldn't want us to taint that now.
Ross says he will be there.
Oh, great. Thank you. Come up to me and talk to me. I'd love to talk to you, Mr. Ross. Let's see here. The next bit of news. All right, let me see. Sometimes some things get out of order, so let's see here. Oh, well, that's one event's tomorrow and today. So I'll talk about this one more time, but the Middle Creek Volunteer Fire Department will be having a concession stand at the Battle of Middle Creek on Friday and Saturday, September 9th and 10th. They will have hot dogs, fried. What is that? It's the South. Everything's fried. Nacho cheese or chili, water and soda, slushies, popcorn, pizza chips, cotton candy, and so much more. People, there's so little times that I've seen a fire department or police. Well, I'll see a lot of police officers at SCV events, but I don't know if I've seen a lot of fire departments. So again, these people are our first responders. They put themselves on the line for us. go out and support them if they're at an event for us. Because first off, they're probably going to get a lot of crap for it these days. And so if they're going to go to a battle, please support them. Go out there and thank them for their service. Thank them for doing the duty of being a fireman, a cop, a veteran, and, support them because they probably need the money at a volunteer fire department. I know mine does. And fried bologna. Why I ate fried bologna yesterday. Why did I draw a blank on that? Thank you.
That was a
Mr.
great
Small.
graphic too.
It was a great graphic, and I butchered it. Welcome to Look Around the Confederation. Well, that happens way too much. We don't know why we put me in charge of this show. We still don't. I've been doing it for 2 seasons. We still don't know why. We don't. I blame Connor. It's all his fault. Next bit of news. Let's see here. Yes. So Valor Memorial Park is having a living history walk. The traveling Hunley exhibit will be at the park all day Saturday 3rd. So if you could go back in time, that will be a fantastic event for you to attend. If you could just, travel back in time, I'm sure that Doc will let you use the car. You can go back in time. I wish that I had a bit more time today to read everything. It is what it is. I've probably done stupider on this show, so I'm not even going to be offended by it. Going on to some other news that I know is current, because I will be attending it. Beauvoir, the last home of our only president here in the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis, will have its 36th annual fall muster. It will be October 15th and October 17th. It will be the battles. I will be there for the reenactment Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully, will start at 2 p.m. There will be a ladies' tea Saturday, October 15th at 10 a.m. open to the public. If you have a period dress, we encourage you to wear it. Period vendors, music provided by the 5th Alabama Regimental Band, drills, skirmishes, and living history, camp exhibits, and more. Beauvoir has something for everybody, folks. So make sure if you are free that event, you go. It is fun for the whole family. I attended my first ever fall muster last year, and because of my fighting for my traditions at Ole Miss, usually that made me do stuff on game day, and fall muster always fell on game day. So when I told them that I was getting more involved in the SCV and with my time at Ole Miss coming to a close, I was going to step back a bit, I decided to go to fall muster. And let me tell you, I didn't get back into reenactment until recently. And it takes, I enjoy it, but let me tell you, I never had more fun reenactment than going to fall muster. I would put it probably one of the best places I go to. Second best would probably be the Battle of Texas Hospital. I love that. It's very close to me. I have memories of that as a child. That's a nostalgic one. But this one, it is amazing, and they're planning on this year to make it the biggest thing ever. And remember, fall muster is also Beauvoir's biggest fundraiser for the house, the museum, and remember, Beauvoir is owned by the United Mississippi Sons of Confederate Veterans. So this is our own thing, folks. It is the only home of the only president of the Confederate States of America, President Jeff Davis. So if you're looking for something to do October, please come down to Biloxi, Mississippi. We'll be happy to have you. And you can spectate or participate in fall muster. Moving on to some other bit of news. Oh yeah, well thank you. I practiced that.
I felt like that was like a infomercial. I was like, wow, like tell me more.
With me being in the 5th Brigade, I might have a bit of bias towards that one, considering Beauvoir in my backyard. I go out to Beauvoir as much as I physically and financially can, because we all know that all my money comes from a certain Forest Dolls. So, I love Beauvoir. I love going down there working. Love the people down there. They work so hard and get not a lot of things. And again, something owned by the United Mississippi Division of Sons of Confederate Veterans, which that's something else to talk about. But This is ours, and he's the only president. And so I take a lot of pride that that's in my backyard when I am home, and I cannot wait to be home and close to my farm soon. You know, I plan on going there as much as I can.
A really good question, my friend. It says we may get a second CSA president, hypothetically. If we did, who would it be?
Oh my gosh,
that's kind of fun.
Jude, I'm there as much as I can because it's amazing. Yes, Miss Keitsa, she is one of the MVPs at Beauvoir. She does an amazing job doing our events down there. Love her to death. Let's see here. Let's see who. Yeah, I don't know who the president would be because Robert E. Lee would tell you no, and he's the person I would naturally pick. I think if you had a write-in ballot, Robert E. Lee would win. If Robert E. Lee would accept the ballot is the other question. That man wanted to retire so much after the war. He just wanted to go live on his farm. And I got that from Lee the last years. He just wanted to rent a farm.
Victor Smith, me and Victor are on the same wavelength. I was thinking Vinny meant today, like by today.
Oh, today.
And yeah, me and Victor are thinking the same thing.
There he is. Paul Grambling Jr. If you don't know who our past commander-in-chief is, he's a phenomenal leader. You know, I'm kind of biased because, again, you know, I might have been in the organization for 11 years, but I didn't really start paying attention until Paul got in office. You know, I wasn't concerned about national. I was concerned about Samuel H. Poe Camp number 255 of Wayne County, Mississippi. That was my job. That was my section. And when I started caring about the Mississippi Division, GCB was in charge, and you saw how that affected me. And then Paul, so I think Paul is a great CIC. I mess with him all the time. That if CIC position you could run for it twice, I would vote. I would nominate him. And every time Paul looks at me and says, "No."
Well, I mean, on official German No Day, you do realize today is German No Day, right? It's 9/9. It's 9/9. So yeah, we just elected, and it looks like in the chat it's unanimous that Paul Grambling would be our CSA, the second president of the new CSA.
All the chat's voting for Paul. Oh, please tell me, Commander Grambling.
If you're the electorate, it's all Paul Grambling.
Oh, he probably, with it being a bit later show, he's probably not on, but oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious if he was. Oh.
Like, hey, you got to go back and watch this.
Oh,
you just got elected.
I'm sending him a message. Going on to the next bit of this. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. The Lieutenant General S.D. Lee Caledonia Rifles Camp 2140 organized a CERT workshop cleaning the Lewisdale County Monument that was recently put back up in Friendship Cemetery in Columbus, Mississippi. Mississippi, after a long battle with the county, finally got the monument back up. Mississippi Division Monuments Committee Chairman and 5th Brigade Councilman and Historian-in-Chief Far S.S. Dawes and Mississippi Division Historian Harrison Dawes conducted the workshop and would like to give a special thanks to all who participated and kept 2140 Camp Commander Joe Young and 2nd Brigade Commander Mr. John Wiggins for organizing and hosting this said event. I had a great time. They are going to be doing a rededication ceremony on, I believe, November 11th in Friendship Cemetery. I will be attending. Please, if you can, make preparations to come out there and see it. It is one of the most beautiful monuments in Mississippi. We spent all day cleaning it. It was a great time. At one point, I just let my dad. Oh, that's awful news. We'll get on to that in a second. I had no idea. I want to thank you, Mr. Allen, for bringing that to my attention. We'll talk about that in a second.
No.
That is throwing me for a loop. But we were so happy to have that monument back up in Friendship Cemetery. I know the chairman of the Monuments Committee, my father, the 2nd Brigade Commander, and Lieutenant General S.D. Lee, Countdown Rifles, Camp worked so hard to get that monument back up, and they fought for a whole year and a half, folks. I mean, it was a hard-fought battle. I was there many nights on long phone calls with my father trying to get the monument back up. They finally got this win. And again, when these wins happen, we need to support people. These rededication ceremonies are important because, first off, that monument in Friendship Cemetery is looking over not all, but a great section of Confederate veterans that are buried there. He's watching, that monument's almost like it's watching over them. And it's going to be a great one. We cleaned it good. It looks amazing. Probably the first time it's been cleaned by anybody other than the county in a decade. The camp told me that they said they cleaned it before they reinstalled it, but we know how that goes. So I want to thank the camp for an amazing shirt workshop. I was so honored to be there and to help out, to clean, and then I was so happy that we all decided to go get in the shade and make my father clean the very top of the monument with a forklift. That was an amazing idea. I want to thank all the camp for coming up with that because my father at that point was the only one in the sun. It was a great decision by our part. But again, we will come back to you with that, with some news soon on the event. I believe it's Veterans Day. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's what my father told me. And if you don't know from trying to schedule something with me on SCV chat, I have to have a planner because I am all over the place like today. I'm finally drying. I'm getting that lovely dry, I got soap smell in my office now, which is horrendous. But going on to something very important, some heartbreaking news. Gigi, Miss Linda Gramblin, had to go back to the hospital. Everybody on the show knows how much I love Gigi. She is my grandmother in the SCV. I tell her that every time I see her. She's the one that came up with the Moose Mania thing at reunion. She thought it was going to be hilarious. She loved mooses are her favorite animal. So when I got named Moose, I get rained Moose's gifts every time I see her. She just rains them. I don't know where she finds these mooses, but she always finds a good one. And so Gigi is amazing. Miss Linda is amazing.
Thanks for the heads up, Alan Lawrence. Appreciate you.
So thank you, Mr. Allen, for bringing this to our attention because the power of prayer works, and I would like to ask everybody to pray for Miss Linda Gramblin tonight. She is a very important chat head, always in the chat, always sharing, always commenting, and she is a very, very close, dear friend of mine. She's my grandmother in this organization, so please be praying for her. We love you, Gigi. And Victor's right. She's either everybody's SCV mother or SCV grandmother. It doesn't matter if she's met you once or 5,000 times. She's the sweetest woman ever. She helped Commander Gramblin do his time as CIC, Lieutenant CIC. And for those who don't know, I have a strong respect, just like we talked about Monday with Dr. Sandy Mitchum, for the women of the war and for the women that stand behind our men today defending the cause, because it's tiring in these high positions, even lower positions. Not throwing anybody in the bus because the camps are the backbone. So I cannot wait for that lovely joy to be thrown upon me at one point. But Paul retired so he could be lieutenant and commander in chief of this organization. Miss Linda rode with him everywhere. She didn't have to do that. She could have looked at him and be like, "Oh, okay, sweetie, you have a good time. I'll see you when you get back to the house. I'll, keep your clothes clean, do all the stuff that, a lovely retired woman does in the South." But she went with him. And she got countless hours on the road working for the UDC and being the woman behind, the great woman behind the great man that led this organization for 2 years. And she's amazing. She's the sweetest little woman ever. My heart almost broke when she wasn't here at reunion with me at National this year. So please take some time out of your night, take some time out of your day, your future days. Please pray for Miss Linda Gramblin. She's amazing. It's hard to kind of move on after that. We got a bit more news left, and we'll let Christian Lee talk about a couple of things he's doing, especially the monument. I won't say any more because I want him to dive into it because he talked about it before the show. And much like me with Beauvoir, I was sitting on the edge of my seat like, tell me more. So I'm going to let him talk about it. He'll be better with words on that one. But continuing with the news, the Turner Asby Camp, 1561 of Virginia, had a tent set up at both the Frederick and Clark County fairs of the month of July and August. Members helped raise funds recruit new members as well, interact with the public to tell them the true history of the Confederate soldier and why the Confederate soldier fought for the War of Southern Independence. I want to thank y'all. Going out and doing stuff like this, going out and getting involved in our community is what we need to do. Again, you can't be, the reason camps are the backbone of this organization, I truly believe that, is these battles happen in communities and division states. So when something happens in a community, the camp has to step up and be like, you can't do that. That's against the law. I just slammed my desk, stuff's flying everywhere, but you can't do that.
Right. And the thing about a camp is a camp usually focuses on a specific history of the area, like 1325. We're always focused on this area, the Alamo area, San Antonio, and the people that are connected to it. So, yeah, if you have any specialist, it would be in that camp.
Yes. And again, that's why we have these things, because also local Confederate history is disappearing. So if you have someone that's, say, an older member that knows a lot about local history, make them your camp historian. We all know the rule in the SCV: if you don't show up to an event, you can just vote someone in. That's how I became adjutant for a second term. But again, pick that brain, get that knowledge. My camp is doing something like that. We have one charter member left in our organization at my camp, and we're going to get him to write down the camp's history, the rechartering history, because our camp folded, and then he brought it back in the 90s, him and a group of other men. And again, my father's finding out more information about Samuel H. Poe, our Captain Samuel H. Poe, and the Wayne Rifles every day, and we're writing that local history down because it is extremely important that we have this local history as well as history for our juggernauts like Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson. But again, you need to support that local history too. And again, when you have the backing of a community, when the community knows the Sons of Confederate Veterans are not as bad as the media say, they're in our community. They're helping the elderly. They're supporting the police department. They're helping other veterans organizations. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're just out and about fundraising or showing up at an event like this. People, that's big because, without the community, the camp's fight is harder.
That's all the stuff that they leave out of our Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's
the stuff they leave out.
Yeah, just because people are going to Google us, and that's the first thing they're going to see. Don't get me on that rant because I got on to it with one of my friends the other night. I think it was Connor. But, again, that's what they see. They see us as this evil organization. So when your camp goes out and gets involved in the community, you're doing two things. Well, you're doing a couple things. You're rebuilding our image. You're showing people we're not bad people, and we want to be a part of this community. We want to make it stronger. We want to make it better. We want to support our police, firemen, our veterans, any good cause you can, whatever your community needs. Like, I know one of the communities that one of my friends helps out in via his camp. They have they have a shortage with help with the elderly in that community. The SCV camp goes out and helps the elderly. Do what your community needs. So that's the first thing. Second, of course, when the community is being told you're just these evil, evil people, they will think for a second and be like, wait a minute. These people support me. They help me. They're always out. They're always doing something positive for this town. I think, why, they could even be like, I might not agree with them on this monument issue, but if it's important to them, I'm going to stand with them. And you get a chance to reteach history to them that they've been lied to all their life, and that's an uphill challenge, let me tell you. And then, of course, you get new members. But again, it's very important to be involved in these things is what I'm trying to say. And so when you get the chance to do something like this, always do it. I write down plans almost every month about something my camp could do. My camp's hosting a turkey shoot, just a fun activity, a fundraising so we could have a scholarship to give out to a local senior at a high school in our area.
That's awesome.
For writing history papers so they can go out to college, and those dead gum books purchases won't hurt that much. We might not be able to give them a lot, but, soften the price of those books up that first semester. And again, people remember that. They remember, hey, the SCV gave our cousin or my daughter or our nephew, niece a scholarship, and it really helped her. Or they went out and helped the elderly, or they did a fundraiser for the veterans, our children, hospitals. There's so many things we can get involved in our community and do and show people we're not just these evil people that they talk about. We're nothing like
these evil people. We're not evil at all, I promise you. Yeah, any viewers tuning in, like, you got some really, really good guys, especially these guys that are on the screen right now. Definitely some good guys. Yeah. All the people I recognize in the chat, like, these are exceptional people. Like, everything that I've seen them do, that we're grateful for all of this, and it's definitely not for granted. Nothing we're doing is for granted, guys.
Yes, and continue working hard. Again, the goal is, we talked about this a bit at the beginning. Goal is by 2061, we have the love back, and we can put more monuments up, and we are able to celebrate in public and not be shamed. And at that point, probably our grandkids can go out and celebrate, their heritage. And so, again, being involved in your community, first off, it's good. It's just plain up being a good person. But it also, a little bit on the selfish side, it helps rebuild our image, and it gets us out there and shows people we're not just these evil people that Wikipedia tells them that we are. Oh, that Wikipedia thing is going to be a thing on the show now. I know it.
Hey, man, you can't let them win. And, there's ways that we can win. And, Wikipedia is just water off a duck's back. We've got really smart people that can outdo Wikipedia any day. It's like we've got enough sources to prove them otherwise. That whatever they've got, we can do better. We can do better. I mean, especially with all of our historians, like, we've got some smart guys, smart ladies too. I don't want to leave out the ladies, because I know there's many ladies that are way smarter than I am.
Yeah.
Way smarter than I am.
Yeah, Miss Linda, that's on me for Kenny. I still expect you to be around in 2061, so don't you be saying I'll be 108. You'll still be there, Mr. Kenny. Miss
Even
Linda,
if you're in a jar, like, we're gonna keep your head in a jar and keep you alive, like on Futurama with Richard Nixon.
Oh my God.
We'll all be here. Don't worry.
Miss Linda, I'm going to extend the time of the show just a bit to give Christian some time, since it's my fault. I gave him my word that he'd have time to speak, and of course I want Christian to speak. So I'm going to extend the time of the show. We're about to end the news, and so he'll be speaking in a minute. Sorry. The show is going to go longer than an hour tonight, and it's already late, so I do understand if you can't tune in forever. You'll watch us tomorrow. But it's just because, again, I was getting soaked during the time of prep for the show, and I didn't expect the rain to slow me down as much as it did. So let me finish the news, and we'll let Christian talk. So the Captain J.J. Dickerson Camp 1387's Lee Jackson Southern Heritage Celebration will be on January 7th, 2023 at 6 p.m. The guest speaker will be none other than Commander-in-Chief Jason Boshiers.
Wow.
If I don't lose my voice by the end of this episode, it'd be phenomenal.
He took your breath away.
Yeah, that's what my SCV dad does. Jason just takes my breath. I'm trying to read some of the other writing. Again, a Lee Jackson celebration. They're just special. There's just something about them. If you can support this event, definitely go support it. It is in, let me pull that back up first off. It will be in Florida.
Fun.
Let's see here if I can get a bit closer to my screen. Well, it's in the state of Florida, so if you're close to Florida, I'm going to again, and this is the reason we posted on the Facebook page, is because you can zoom in, you can see the details of this poster, and you can figure stuff out like this. I told Christian this was going to be a heck of an episode because I was going to be all over the place, but yeah, I'll put
God loves me.
What'd you say?
Victor, he says, God loves you, Christian. Thank you. You know, it helps to hear it sometimes.
Miss Linda, where will this event be located, since that's your camp? I want to make sure it gets the proper representation in this news cycle. So, okay. All right. I'll put that up on the screen. Charles Ray, you'll be 94 in 2061, so I expect to see you there when we start those celebratory events in April. So I expect to see you there, sir. Christian, yeah, God love him. He's had to stick in it tonight. So let's see here. That great event, and again, if you can be there, I wish I could be there. I might be able to. I don't know. January 7th, it depends. Also depends on my wallet situation that always stops me from going to as many SCV events as I want.
I love you too, Jude. You're amazing.
But it's going to be a great event. They will have CIC Commander Boshears. Miss Linda will be there, and she's always nice to talk to. And I'm sure the event will be amazing. I cannot wait.
Agreed.
News on that. Everybody's.
I'm sorry. I'm reading the chats.
Yeah, but I just glanced at them. All right. Well,
it's hard to get drawn in.
Going to our last bit of news, Miss Linda, let me tag your comment so I have that ready for next time, because I'll be promoting this all the way up until y'all's event. So thank you, Miss Linda, for sending me in that information. Tell your camp if they have any other information they want me to talk about to send it to me at scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com, and I'll make sure I have it ready. Again, tonight was a bit more of I didn't want to leave anybody out, so I grabbed all the news I could. But Mellobrone, I'm not saying that right. Florida, we all know my tendencies to mispronounce camp names in cities and counties and all over the place. So my apologies, Miss Linda. It is just one of those nights for me, sadly. I can't pronounce anything right anyway normally. So, but make sure if you're around that area that you can go support it. It's in Florida. Florida has a great division right now. They're going on a lot of things strong. So if you can be there, please be there. So going on to the last bit of news, thank the good Lord, because I also forgot to bring water up here like I normally do, and so my throat is completely dry. Aww. So I cannot wait to give it over to Christian and just be like, talk. Let's see here. All right. The Gainesville Volunteers SCV Camp 373 are giving off these stamps. These stamps are very lovely. I have one coming to me. It is a donation of about $5, and you can get one of these stamps. It's going to help the camp.
Awesome.
They're doing this as a fundraiser. You can donate via Venmo, or you can send them a check, or just cash, of course. And they have their stuff and information down below. And I'm sure that after I post on the page tomorrow, we should do a spelling bee to raise funds. That would be horrendous. I never did a spelling bee out of fear of the fact that I cannot spell or pronounce anything worth a darn. But if you could, please support the Gainesville Volunteers. They're in my brigade. I love them to death. They do a lot of great things. The young man that sent this to me is a very active member, folks. And guess what? He's a very young man. I believe Jack is 12 or 11, if I remember correctly. I don't think I ever asked your age, Jack, so please forgive me if I got that wrong. I'm getting that from Forsay, from other people. So I hope I got it right. But he's a great young man. That's a great camp. Please support him if you can. The stamp looks great. When I get mine in the mail, I will be showing it off on the chat. So without further ado, we will hit a commercial break, and we will let Christian talk about what he wanted to talk about. Let's see, what do I have for a commercial break? Here we go. All right. Please remember, our commercial breaks are sponsored by Larry McClooney, our past Commander-in-Chief's books. You can get his books at www.larrymcclooney.com. And you can get great books such as a book on Vicksburg, a book on In the Defense of General Beauregard. We all know General Beauregard has been thrown under the bus these past couple of years, and past hundreds of years, really. And so this book is going to defend him, and one of the few books on the Yazoo Path. So we want to thank our past Commander-in-Chief, Larry McClooney, for sponsoring this episode's Pop-Tart break, even though if it's coming in an hour late. So please go support him. And we will be back with Christian Lees after the break.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Now the moment we have all been waiting for, especially me, because I'm very interested on this conversation, bless his heart. So without further ado, I'm shutting up for the rest of the episode. Christian, you have it, my friend. Go for it.
Oh, you can't shut up for the rest of the episode. Come on now.
Please let me shut up.
Like you're the superstar. Come on now. Like you can't let me down. All right. Anyway, hi, I'm Christian, and I'm from the Alamo City Guards camp down here in San Antonio. And we have an amazing project that we've been putting together. And we've had a lot of local support, and it's starting to trickle out from outside of the state to different places. We've had some really noteworthy people send in some donations as well, got us really excited. One of them is you're planning on having him as a guest, which is going to be super exciting. But we're working on a statue to a little known or, most completely unknown history of the Tejano Confederate soldier. So the Tejano Confederates are basically, they are the Hispanic people that were here when basically the boundaries of Texas were formed. They were Mexican citizens, descended of Spaniards, all the people that lived here between the Nueces and the Rio Grande. So, when that line moved, so did their allegiance. So they've been Texans all their lives. And they deserve a monument that is just as grand as this history. So we've been working to get a statue between 6 and 8 foot tall of a Hispanic Confederate, specifically a Tejano, and it's going to be at a cemetery called the Ruiz Herrera Cemetery. And it rests there are a lot of Tejano heroes. Ruiz, he is one of the alcalde of the alcalde is the mayor, and he was the mayor of San Antonio when Santa Anna bombarded the Alamo. So you've got him out there. You've got basically Blas Herrera is the Paul Revere of the Alamo. So if you know who Paul Revere is, then you kind of get what Blas was. He was like, hey guys, Santa Anna's here, gear up, get ready. And his son Blas Jr. was a Confederate. His grandson was Manuel Herrera, and he was elected to be the captain of the Medina Guards, and he was a 17-year-old. So I mean, by today's standards, that should shock people to know that, like, hey, that this kid is leading. But back then, I mean, you had so much going on. They were responsible for making sure that the Comanches didn't raid San Antonio. They were like the first line of defense. So, I mean, they grew up in this really hectic, chaotic frontier with war. Wars happened all around them. So, fighting was nothing new. And just to be able to commemorate this with a grand statue is amazing. And the fact that we're gearing up for putting new monuments up, we still want to save the old monuments, and that's super important. And the thing about it is, like, our opposition wants to say these monuments were put up for this reason and solely this reason, regardless of what is said, what was written, why it was actually put up. But we know that the monuments that we're putting up this generation and why they're going up, because this history needs to be taught. No one knows this history. So what's more amazing than having a grand statue to teach part of this history? And we're not putting it up to offend anyone. We're genuinely interested in this history. And so there are Herrera descendants that are super excited about this statue. One of my members of the camp, my second lieutenant commander, Robert May, is actually a descendant of the Herrera family. So yeah, it's really awesome to be able to honor him and his ancestor. Another of my camp members, Martinez, his family's out there, and he's a descendant as well. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, and the fact that San Antonio took down our monument in Travis Park, it's really just a shame. It's really sad because literally none of these people knew what they were doing. They just literally ganged up on us, and literally the monument preservationists here, everyone that is non-Hispanic is the minority in San Antonio and a lot of South Texas, and a lot of people don't realize that. So yeah, by taking down that monument, you're literally like hurting this small demographic of your community. But they ignored other statues of Confederates like Jose Antonio Navarro. Like, his statue doesn't get molested or vandalized. His murals, they don't get tagged. I mean, and it's like, if we're being fair, wouldn't you have taken them all? And yeah, so we're gonna end that. We're gonna end that with what we're doing, because these are new monuments. These are our monuments, and this is how it is now. This is why we're putting that up. And yeah, it's really amazing. It was cool to be able to tell Harrison the first time. Well, should I call you Moose? And Moose, man, how did you pronounce it originally? Do you remember that? Tejano? I think it was Tejano. But yeah, I mean, that was amazing, because there's so, and we were just talking about this earlier, right?
Yeah. So
they don't know.
They don't know, and yeah, and I every time I want to talk about it, because again, there's very rarely first anymore in the world. And while this is not exactly the first, it's the first one that's really dealing with this history and honoring this section of Confederate veterans that need to be honored, and we got to make sure history doesn't forget them, because as you said, a lot of your camp members are excited, as they should be. This is a monument for them, and all monuments to Confederate veterans are for them, but when you have one that signals you out, your ancestors, that's something special. And so yeah, I every time I bring you on to talk about this, and I specifically wanted to bring you on tonight. And I have to practice saying it still, because I'm so nervous I'm going to butcher it. So I'll sit like in the pre-show and be like, Tejano, 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 Tejano. Awesome. But I think the first time I said Tejanos.
Tejanos,
Tejanos. And then like people in the chat, when they started telling me I said it wrong, man, I kept messing it.
No. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I sat there. I was like, Tejano. Don't say that.
Viva Santos Benavides. We see that from Rich. Actually, my adjutant, when we got Rich Garcia, he is from the Faces of the SCV. And the video of Richard Luna Garcia, that's the guy. Like, he's famous. Mm-hmm. And when we got a donation from him, like, my adjutant went nuts. He's like, we're getting famous. Like, I'm like, yeah, man, like, this is really exciting. And just to update you, if you go to alamocityguards.com/Tejano Memorial Statue, you'll see that we are sitting at $4,600. And our goal is 12. So as soon as we have, I'd say, a good majority of that, then we're going to start the commission. It's going to be one of a kind. We have some ideas drafted, and it's really cool because we used artificial intelligence to help us come up with these statues. And it did really well. And so we made trading cards of all of these concepts. So there's one of each. And this is going to be a cool fundraising effort. We have 50 cards. So what we're going to be doing is ACG chat. We're going to be putting it out there. If you donate $20 or more, we're going to send you one of these one-of-a-kind trading cards of the concepts that could possibly be the end concept of the Tejano Confederate statue. So that's a really fun thing that we're doing.
Talk to me after the show. We make sure we can do this, but I want to make that, every show, if you guys donate it, and you please tell us first off so we can send it to them. Because sometimes I don't see it. But if anybody donates money, this is something that's important. And again, I want Christian to come on anytime there's an update, anytime there's anything he wants to talk about, and if he wants to push it. Because again, fun fact, I will be cutting this video in half and reposting Christian's part. So people can just see this monument part. Please, let's donate something. This is something good. And of course, please go support them on ACG chat. And you can probably get more updates quicker than we can even give them out on Look Around, because you're dealing with the people that are behind this project. So again, please go support them over there. Please go support this monument. I'm going to go back to shutting up. I'm trying to look for y'all's website to get the link for it. There we go. All right.
Cool.
All right. Continue, questions. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, it just teaches so many people this history that no one really knows, and it shows just how intertwined this really was. And there are these different contexts that we're not getting out there, and that's what's going to happen. So the statue is, I reiterate, it's going to be between 6 and 8 foot, and it's going to be, it was really cool because the mayor of this town got in contact with me, and they're like, hey, we would like some help with this. Is that something that y'all do? And I'm like, well, of course, yeah, we'd be glad to help you out. And it was basically helping out with the Southern Crosses of Honor, and we identified some people that deserve them. We got with the Nils, and they like, we've got 4 left. You better get them while they're hot. And I was like, so get them to me. And that is actually the Ruiz Ferreira Cemetery. If you're in the San Antonio area, I know that they have a ceremony down there for Hispanic Heritage Month, and I believe it's in September, October. But if you go to the Alamo City Guards page, I'll make sure that I list that. And if you wanted to meet up and meet some of the camp down there, we'll be down there for that. But yeah, when I was on the tour the first time, they said, hey, we've got this plinth, and if you wanted to do something with it, we are totally for that. So it's a beautiful marble plinth. And again, you go to the link and you'll see the plinth. I've got pictures of it and everything. Other than like maybe leveling it a little bit before we place the statue, that's really all that has to be done. And one cool thing that I would like to do is all the people that donate $500 to $1,000, like grades, like we want to specifically mention those camps. So like Alamo City Guards, we had a donation from the Lone Star Grays, and there are the our division commander's camp. So that was really cool because it's a very small camp, and money matters to the small camps, and them taking $1,000 of just the pittance that they have, it means a lot. And their commander Juan Ramirez, like, he's another one of those guys, and Rusty Harris, like, these guys have been doing a Tejano Los Tejanos Rebeldes project, and Rich Garcia, he mentioned Viva Santos Benavides. Well, so a little bit of cool history. One of our famous people in San Antonio is Emilio Navarra, and he is like, I don't know if you know Selena, like for the Tejano scene, it's like Hercules and Xena, right? You had Emilio and Selena, Hercules and Xena, Emilio and Selena. It rhymes, so it's like destiny. But his ancestor actually rode with Santos Benavides. So I was able to trace that back, and I'm like, hey, how cool is that? This is more Tejano history that no one knows. And yeah, it just super amazing to be able to be part of this project. And I digress. Yeah, anyone who donates that 500, 1,000 straight to the project, we're putting their camp on the memorial plaque that's going to go with that. So it's a must. Like, everyone needs that recognition. All the organizations, you know, whoever it feels driven to do this, like, it would be amazing to have everybody included. So it's a really big deal. And if we keep doing what we're doing and raising the money, we've been doing movie nights to raise money. It's super simple. You just click the donate button at the bottom. You can donate through Facebook, and it gets to us in about 45 days. And yeah, that's how we've been doing it. We've raised about, personally, $3,000 of the $4,600 just from the movie nights. So yeah, if you want to try your own movie nights and be able to do this, you know, some nights you don't get any donations, other nights you get a lot of donations. It's just like fishing. They don't call fishing fish. They don't call it catching. They call it fishing. So if you're not doing it, you're not going to raise money. It's not going to get in front of those people. So the more we do it, the more people are going to see these events. So like SCV chat, you got to share. You have to share. So these guys can make their stars. And, you know, these stars literally equate money. It equates gear. These guys will be able to do their job on SCV chat even better. So yeah, these sort of projects are very lucrative. And we're grateful for everyone who's donated, and we're going to do something phenomenal. You're making history, and I love the fact that the SCV is getting to make some more history. I mean, we had the SCV museum, and we got the forest statue, and all of these amazing things. And so it's just like, we can only go up. Like, literally, it's such an amazing time to be part of the SCV. And yeah, guys, I've already got other ideas. Once I get this statue done, you know, there's going to be other statues of other incredible people that I've been discovering. That it's going to be hard for our haters to tear down the monuments. It's like, you're going to step on a lot of toes if you tear down a Hispanic Confederate monument. Just saying, especially in South Texas.
Yeah, and y'all are doing so good. And again, you know, I'm not going to say they probably have been a bit neglected. I mean, you know, back when we were just now putting up these monuments, you know, people were so poor during Reconstruction, they put up broad monuments, you know, to all Confederate veterans of this county or this state. And so, you know, I've loved seeing in recent years, seeing monuments up to specific people or to specific races, cultures, religions, because, you know, again, our haters say this isn't real, but the Confederate Army had the most diverse army in the world at the time, and to not celebrate that and to, of course, more importantly, honor that, because, again, it was very crazy that we had that diverse of an army in the world in 1861. I mean, it's mind-blowing. It shows, of course, just how history is amazing and how we can't let this stuff fall by the wayside. No. And, of course, we need to honor these people's heritage. You know, I I come from Great Britain. My family's been here since the Revolutionary War. This monument doesn't have to do with my heritage, but it has something to do with my brother's heritage, and he hasn't had a chance to have a monument to express that.
Wow.
I love Richard Garcia, and I'm so happy for our Hispanic members and the Hispanic Confederate veterans group to have a monument for themselves now. And of course, to see these minorities that were in our in our organization and in the Confederate Army, our military, be able to get these monuments finally. Oh, that's amazing! It brings so much joy for me to see any monument go up for a Confederate veteran, but these monuments that you're not going to see a lot.
And that's super contrary to what the opposition says about you. It's like, oh, you wouldn't be happy about this. You're an SCV member. What do you care that a Hispanic's getting recognized? It's like, hold up. Like, you don't know me. You ready? Yeah. Like, you need to get to know me individually, and yeah, that's really a big issue that you and I are dealing with, and yes. You're an amazing guy, and all of these people in our organization are amazing. And when you see people waving a battle flag, I mean, this to anyone who's not part of our organization or might be on the fence, like ask them, hey, you got a battle flag, heritage not hate, or something along those lines. They'll be like, yeah, you got it. Come over and hang out with us, and we'll discuss some history. And if I ask you about, how'd you get in the SCV? Who's your Confederate ancestor? You're gonna just go off and tell me all these amazing things that you learned. Like, aren't we mostly like a bunch of history nerds? And we've got
basically, yes.
Like, we're a bunch of history nerds that like to play dress up, cosplay, and like where's harm in that, guys? Like, you're literally bullying. Like, we don't mean you any harm. Like, come on, guys. Like, yeah, you got to get to know us. And there's a huge difference between someone that doesn't like you and someone that wants to teach you.
Yeah, we're just trying to teach heritage that's ours. And that's the great thing about something like this. This is expanding that. And to groups of it that we have always honored, maybe not in the best ways, sadly, but groups that, nevertheless we've honored when we say Confederate veteran. But again, I keep going back on the fact that this is a Tejano Confederate monument. Did I say it right that time? Might not have 50. It is what it is. Tejano. Okay. I have to watch myself again because I'll get excited and something wrong will come out of my mouth. But that's a great thing because, me and Christian were talking about before the show, and there's one monument to Tejanos, and it's to Confederate and Union, and it's a plaque. There's not any actual, and monuments can be a lot of different things, and I understand that. But, just like everybody else, they deserve something that's going to be special. And for us to put it up, and for people in Texas to put it up, and for that to happen, oh, it's amazing.
At the Capitol of Austin, you've got this. It's a really big sculpture. Okay, so it's a giant sculpture of Hispanic individuals moving cattle, and there's a bunch of plaques to explain the time periods and everything they went through. But they just consolidated the Civil War and Tejano served on both sides of the Civil War, Union and Confederacy, and that's really all you get of this monument. But the cool thing about it is SEO. We've been promoting it so much that when you type Tejano Memorial statue, things like that, our camp and our monument come up. So yeah, it's right there with this incredible multi-million-dollar sculpture, and ours is going to be there right next to it. So guys, and ours is specifically for these Confederates. So that's going to be really, really cool. One thing that I'm really kind of like edgy, a little edgy. One thing that I would love to do is put up a Yankee statue here. And get this Yankee statue, he Yankee up north, and then he settled here in San Antonio. He became a San Antonian. And His name was Ronald McDonald. So I guess you can kind of see where I want to go with this statue. So yeah, that could be a thing, right? I mean, could be fun.
Spends $10,000 on a Yankee monument. He calls it the Ronald McDonald.
I mean, it's a Yankee statue, and it's of Ronald McDonald. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of funny names, that served in all ranks.
Peter
so
Griffin.
Yeah, that was a fun one that I came across.
I laughed for hours because of that. I sent it to all my friends. They were like laughing. They thought I found it. I was like, nope. I got to give this to Christian Lee. He did it. It was amazing. Me and my friends were talking about my friend downstairs who helped me set up my tent. Me and him talked about on the car ride over, and he by no means is an SCV member. He, I don't think he has any Confederate heritage, but it's something to talk about. And he's learning history, and why it might not be his heritage. It's something you still need to teach our heritage, and so people understand why we care about it so much.
Correct.
And again, this monument, oh my gosh, it's going to be history making. I can't wait because I will move. I will steal money out of my father's wallet to make sure I'm there. If he's watching this,
Don't do that.
I do plan on being there, and I think we already talked about this when you first brought it up because we all thought it was spectacular then, and it's still spectacular now. That SCV Chat will be broadcasting it.
Yes.
We might do it out of respect for y'all's camp and respect of your show and respect to all the stuff y'all done. Do it under the ACG umbrella with promotion and stuff. Try to promote broadcast it on both pages too.
Sure.
But again, I cannot wait.
And you can't leave out our buddies at Monuments Across Dixie because they're the ones that are helping me walk through the process. So, I mean, I would have no clue where to start, but they've done so many of these. If you've seen the stone walls that were just distributed, like they are fantastic. So the craftsmanship is amazing. Yeah, definitely.
Throwing him on the bus. I still haven't talked to him about it. He just texted in the chat. I'm still planning on calling you after the show, Moose, and I was like, oh gosh, bless our hearts.
So yeah, it's I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of that. And I can't wait. It's going to be exceptional.
It's going to be amazing. The link has been put in the chat. It's also scrolling across the link. This link is going to be all over our page for the next month. It is, of course, going to be Hispanic Heritage Month. And the
Correct.
SCV, of course, is going to not counteract that, but we're going to be trying to put some spotlight on Confederate Hispanics and their heritage and their service to the Confederate cause. And so we're going to be talking about this for a while now. Again, we brought it up that Mr. Richard Garcia will be on at some point soon. I won't say when yet, mainly because I haven't talked to him about it, but it will be probably towards the end of the month. ACG Chat are planning to do something as well. All of us here, all of the shows here at SCB Chat are planning something special for this month. And again, we're going to be pushing heavily this monument this month because, again, the Tejanos, they need this monument. This is something they can be proud of. See, again, we talk about this all the time, but these monuments are great for, when they have kids. They'd be like, see, son, this is your heritage. This is something you can be proud of. And guess what? This is the one special to us. And they deserve that.
Right.
And I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait to be there. I cannot wait to be here when you come on the show to tell me that you got the goal and we're going forward and the monument will be up then and you can announce it whenever you guys, of course, start planning for the dedication ceremony.
You know what? Once we come up with the concept of the design, SCV Chat will be the first to see the design. So we can do that.
Okay. That gives me an idea, but we'll talk about that after the show.
Sure.
But that will be awesome. Of course, I want to thank Christian for coming on. Please remember, next Wednesday, we will be broadcasting Christian Lee's part of this episode, so you could so it can be shared out a bit more. This is a very long episode. Because of that, I'm giving Christian a little cut so he has a bit of extra momentum and to get shared upon. So please share this episode first off, so we can get all the news and stuff out. But most importantly, make sure you tune in Wednesday for our rerun, and make sure to share it then too. We'll be pushing very hard this month, all month long, for Hispanic Heritage Month, from September 15th to October 15th. So without further ado, I want to thank you guys for all tuning in. If you have a camp project or division project you'd like to talk about live on Look Around the Confederation, please email us at scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com, and make sure to send your pictures, short videos, and write-ups to scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com, and you'll be featured in the upcoming episode of Look Around the Confederation. Thank you, everybody, for being patient. Thank you for staying with us for this longer episode. Make sure you share the living crap out of this episode. Make sure you tune in with us Monday. And make sure you share Christian Lee's part of the episode Wednesday. And without further ado, I will see you guys Monday. Stay Southern, my friends.
Stay Southern, my friends.